Hello. Well, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on here, and I decided last Thursday that this past week would be my last week of not being on YouTube. Now, part of the reason was because I felt it important to share my situation with everyone, but part of the reason is I realized that if I didn't get back on pretty soon, I was going to gain a lot of weight, not just a few pounds. I'll go better into that after I finish sharing with you what my weigh-in was for these last few weeks. The last time that I videoed, which I believe was February the 2nd, I shared with all of you that I was up over 4 pounds. I think I said that. I know I said at least 4, but I was over 4 pounds up. And I did not share an amount with you because I was trying not to focus on that part of my life at that time. And I don't regret the decisions that I've made these last few weeks. I just want to learn from them. And so hopefully I will. But on February the 2nd, I weighed in at 126.6. Now, the last weight that I had shared with y'all, I believe, was 122.6 or 0.4. So that was up over 4 pounds. And it was not a place I wanted to be in, but it was a place I was okay to be in, considering what Papa and I were going through. Now, I could go through and tell you all the other weigh-ins that I had between February the 2nd and this morning, but I'm going to make it a little brief. We had to go to Florida last week because of a suspected gas leak. Praise the Lord, there was no gas leak, but we had to be there and go through the procedures of having our gas turned back on. Well, I've shared with y'all often that when I'm in Florida, I cannot weigh accurately. My scale down there is not calibrated to the scale that I use here. So I just basically am getting an idea. But with that being said, I got an idea all right. Because when I got on the scale last Thursday down in Florida, I weighed 127.5. Whew, that shook me to the core. I realized that if I didn't do something soon, I was going to be back in that 130 pound range. And I don't want to be in that range for a couple of reasons. And one already began to show its ugly head last weekend. I realized that I had to do something to get control over my eating, because I had found myself over these last 3 or 4 weeks mindlessly eating, not even realizing that I was eating. I mean, I knew I got up and went to the pantry and got food, but then I might sit down, watch some TV, and eat the whole time I was watching TV. Mindlessly eating. And that's just not me. Over the weekend, I tried to pull back some from that mindless eating. And when I got on the scale Monday, now this is accurate because I was back home. I weighed in on Monday, which was February the 20th, at 126.8. Now, I'm not sure the 127.5 was accurate, but I know the 126.8 was, and that's still 4 pounds too much. 4 pound gain over the last month. And I really knew that I had to do something, or it was going to be a long winter. I guess that's the best way to put it. So this morning, when I got on the scale, I was not perfect by any means on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I still am going over my points daily, and I'm still eating foods that I don't need to be eating. A lot of salt, sugar, I'm still doing that, but I am pulling back some. So when I got on the scale this morning, I'm happy to say that I weighed 126.4. Now that's only 0.4 of a pound less than what I weighed Monday, but at least the weight is going down, and I'm determined to get back in my happy weight. I know that y'all noticed that. I'm saying 126, 127. My happy weight is 123 to 125, and I'm not in that. I mean, I had been under that by a pound or so for the last 6 months, and now I'm over it. I've shared in previous videos that if I'm not careful, I will just go past that happy weight and be into the weight that I'm at right now. So I'm going to go with my topic now, and it is discipline. Now that's not a word anybody wants to hear, right? I mean, we don't want to have to be disciplined in everything we eat, but it's a positive word. It's not negative, or in my thoughts, it's positive. And so now I'm beginning to realize I've got to be disciplined again. Now, does that mean I'm going to be hungry? Probably. Yeah, I probably will be hungry these first couple of weeks because I've got so used to eating whatever I want to eat. And it's not been crazy amounts. It's just been the wrong kinds of food. And probably one thing, not just the 127 threw me into this, oh, you've got to get real, Meema. But over the weekend, I began to have hip pain again. You know, I shared in a video several months ago that the way that I got rid of some hip pain that I had been suffering with back in the summer of 2021 was by losing weight. Now, that may not be the way most people think that they can get rid of pain, but that has worked with me more than once. And when I was weighing in the 128 to 130 range, I was beginning to have to walk with a cane. I had so much problem with my right hip. And the only way I got through that was to discipline myself to lose some weight. Not much. 4, 5 pounds is all I had to lose to get that pain to go away. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. If I can lose another 2 to 3 pounds and get back in my happy weight, that pain, I believe, will go away. And I do want to share one other thing other than discipline. I have struggled not just with eating, but with some sadness. I've shared with y'all, a member of our family made his way to heaven that last week in January. And so we are having to get used to a new normal. And it's not been easy. It's, you know, we've gone into it kicking and screaming because nobody wants to have to get used to a new normal. And in years past, when I went through these changes, I would back away from my YouTube channel. This time, I have decided to show you the whole story. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But I feel like that everyone can learn through the experience that I'm going through right now. I know I don't want to teach people about this experience, but I'm living through it. And so I'm going to share it with you. The good, the bad, and the not so good, and the really bad. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to what you're going to learn these next few months, but I think it is important for you to learn it. And I do want to make it clear that the only way that I'll get through these next few months is through relying on my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's the only way I get through it. I mean, yes, Weight Watchers is a tool that will help me maintain my weight, But my psyche is a whole different thing, and only God can help me get through these times. And I hope if you don't know Him, consider that. Consider that that's what's going to get you through the hardest times of your life, is a relationship with Jesus. Now, I want to share a couple of little things that I have some viewers out there that are so precious to me. They reach out to me. You know, I put in an address down in my description box to where you can communicate with me via mail. And I've had a couple of people that do that, and I so appreciate it. One is Kathy Woolsey, and I may not be saying your name correctly, Kathy. I hope I am. But Kathy has reached out to me with a card last Thanksgiving. It was precious, and I so appreciate it. And then another person that has reached out to me more than once with a card is Chris Jordan. And Chris sent me a sympathy card about 3 weeks ago, and I'm going to read it to you. This is it. Chris, you'll never know how much I needed this card when you sent it to me. And it says, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." And that's from Exodus 33:14. And then inside the card, it says, "Dear Meema and family, praying you'll feel the presence of the Lord today, and that you'll draw strength and hope as you trust Him to be your comfort. With thoughts and prayers." And then it's signed, "Praying for you, Chris Jordan." Chris, I truly want to thank you for that card. I've picked it up several times in these last 3 weeks and read it, and it's got me through some of the hard times. Now, none of this is going to be easy. It's never easy to change things in your life, but it's things that we have to go through. As human beings, we will suffer loss. We will have to go through grief, as hard as it sounds, but it doesn't mean that we need to gain all our weight back. And I was sort of in that trajectory, and now I'm not. And now I'm determined to get back into that happy weight, not just because I want to weigh it, but because I don't want my hip to hurt anymore. Luckily for me, it's not been severe pain yet, but it was headed that way. It kept me from sleeping over the weekend, and that's not a good thing. So I hope that you will join me in this journey that I'm going through. I felt like it was important for me to get back on here to let you know that I am surviving. I mean, part of the time I'm doing it with kicking and screaming because I don't want to live through this. But we all have to. So if you're not a subscriber and want to know how I'm going to get through this, you're going to have to subscribe and then press the notification bell if you want to get all the videos. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please, if you know someone that's going through what I'm going through right now and that they can benefit from this, please share this video. God bless each and every one of you. Goodbye.